Hello again. Lord Chancellor David Lammy, the Secretary of State for Justice, is currently trying to persuade us that our judicial system is safe in his capable hands. We are to trust his reforms to jury trials, which will mean abandoning Magna Carta and sweeping away 800 years of English tradition, and he promises all manner of stringent safeguards and reforms. So that will be all right. Those viewers who pay attention to what members of this government say and do, and make a note of assurances of this kind, will perhaps have a strange feeling of deja vu when listening to David Lammy talking about stringent safeguards and so on. It is only 5 weeks since he was offering us another set of stringent safeguards, the most stringent safeguards ever. How did that work out? At the end of October, the asylum-seeking sex offender from the Bell Hotel in Epping was mistakenly freed from prison. It later turned out he was not the only one, and that freeing prisoners by mistake in this way had become an unfortunate habit since Labour began releasing people from prison early because the prisons were so crowded. 5 weeks ago, on October the 27th, Lammy told the House of Commons that he had ordered an urgent review into the checks that take place when an offender is released from prison, and new safeguards had been added that amounted to the strongest release checks that have ever been in place. Sounds impressive, no? Well, that was a relief, wasn't it? Well, it might have been were it anybody other than David Lammy who was offering these reassuring words. The problem is, of course, that we know him to be not only a dim-witted, devious and crafty man, but also one who has no real idea how to handle the awesome responsibility of being a government minister. Dressing him up in a robe and sticking a wig on his head has not altered any of this. Today we learn that over a month after these strongest release checks that have ever been in place were imposed, another 12 prisoners have been released over the last 3 weeks, two of whom are still at large. In other words, the incident of the Epping sex abuser being freed in error has taught nobody anything, and it's business as usual in the prison service, with dangerous criminals being released onto the streets every day or two. In a normal government, something as serious as this would of course mean the resignation of the minister responsible for the fiasco. Not so with the Labour government, though. If Rachel Reeves can be caught out lying her head off and still hang on to her job as Chancellor of the Exchequer, why shouldn't Lammy stay in post as well? All he needed to say was that this was really all the fault of the previous Conservative government, and with one bound, he is free. Free to make an announcement in the House of Commons today in which he explains why it's a good idea for this government to scrap Magna Carta. He is like a child who has been allowed to play at being a cabinet minister. No sense of responsibility, no shame, no ability, and a child's love of destruction for its own sake. He will smash up our judicial system and play havoc with the British Constitution simply because he's enjoying himself and knows he can do as he pleases. I spoke the other day about what duty the patriotic elements in this country might have to make a stand against this administration. If doing away with Magna Carta and taking an axe to the British Constitution is not sufficient cause for serious and concerted actions to remove Keir Starmer's administration, then I really wonder what is.